Hello. Earth is a spiritual training school. It's administered by the Golden Ones, and I have been asked to present a series of training classes, more like a training manual on how to use your body and your mind in accomplishing the agenda of this training environment here on Earth. Hi, I am Tim Doyle. I'm a student of the Golden Ones. The Golden Ones are co-creator gods, administrators of this spiritual training school on Earth. They are commissioned by the Galactic Council, and it is their responsibility to ensure that all souls on Earth meet the qualifications and the training to become co-creator gods. Now, it may seem like this is something you have never heard before, or it may seem impossible, or it may seem unlikely, only based on what you have been taught by your governments, your religious organizations, from your family, from culture. The Golden Ones' teachings I haven't been on this planet since the sinking of Atlantis over 11,000 years ago. So there are no teachings based on the Golden Ones currently on the planet. Our solar system travels through space along with the galactic center. Our solar system travels around the galactic center, a journey of 25,920 years. And as our solar system travels around the galactic center, the galactic center is constantly moving within the Milky Way through space. Now, as it moves through space, it goes through many different vibrational frequencies. And when Atlantis sunk 11,000 years ago, our solar system went into a third dimension frequency, vibration, which was too dense for the Golden Ones to stay on Earth. So not until 21 December 2012, when Earth completed its journey around the galactic center and the end of the Mayan calendar, did Earth then transition into a fifth dimension vibrational planet. Well, at that point in time, the Golden Ones it wasn't that they weren't allowed to come back, but the vibration of the planet was suitable for their return. In March of 1983, during meditation, a golden light being appeared to me in my meditation. How he appeared to me is that my mind's eye just opened up like a television screen, and I saw this radiating golden light being in front of me from head to toe. His garments were just radiating with this brilliant golden light. And he took from around his neck a necklace, and it floated across from him to me, and he placed the necklace around my neck. And when he placed the necklace on my neck, there was a tingling sensation going through my body. So I went out and I had this necklace replicated to remind me of the experience, thinking that, well, I always want to remember this, so I'll wear the necklace to remind me of this experience. That was in 1983. On October 12th, while meditating in New Zealand, a group of beings joined my meditation. And it was not uncommon for me to have visitations from spiritual beings and spiritual entities, or hearing voices from the Lords of Amenti. So I didn't think anything more, but just recognized them and welcome to my meditation group. In February of 2013, a couple of months later, I'm in upstate New York, alone, home in upstate New York, which is Naples, New York, doing my daily yoga asana. Teachers always talk to me. they always talk to me. I always listen. They tell me things. And back in how they always talked to me and how I always listened is back in when I was studying for my metaphysical minister degree. They were teaching me how to become aware of my thoughts in every moment. They were teaching me to attune to the God consciousness frequency in the mind. I had to go through this 28-day program, simple program, just to be mindful of what I was feeling, what I was thinking, and then clear my light body. I didn't know at the time what I was doing. They would tell me to do something, I'd say, okay, I do it. And what I was looking back on it after many years, they were teaching me to clear my light body and to attune to the God frequency in my mind. Now, your mind can hold many frequencies. If you're a baker or a chef, you can think of all the herbs and spices and tune into that frequency. If you're a farmer, you could turn into the frequency about weather or fertilization or whatever it is a farmer has to turn into. If you're a mom, you turn into what you need for your children. If you have children, and what's the best thing for them to develop your children. So there's many frequencies your mind can attract thoughts from. But there's one frequency, it's the God frequency. It's like getting on the internet, and you have access to many things you have access to. Tuning into the God frequency, it's not a one way where you just listen. You can ask questions, and they'll answer you. They eventually answer you based on what you know and the knowledge, and they know your knowledge library of what you know. So they're not going to answer you a question with an answer that you can't comprehend. They'll find a way of conveying an answer to your question in a way that you can understand it. So, but on my website, www.thepathtooneness.com, there is a program called the Master Ascension Program. It's a 28-day program, and it will basically guide you through the same steps I had to go through back in 1983. Once you attune to the God frequency in your brain, it's like riding a bike. You're always there. You're always listening. They're always communicating. If you have a question, it could be a question you just feel like you're talking to yourself, like, geez, what's the answer to this? And then you pay attention and then go, oh, okay. They're always listening. They're always responding. They want to help you. It's a gift to be able to do this. All right, so that happened in February. In my morning conversations with my loved ones, they told me things about the future. And I went, yeah, okay. So in March, a couple of weeks later, in March of 2013, they would wake me up at 2:30 in the morning, and they would tell me, go to the computer. So I would go to the computer, and they said, whatever comes in your mind, just type. So I started typing, and whatever I heard, I just type. And I got to the end, and I said, how should I sign it? I'm asking them. I says, I didn't feel right to sign my name. And I says, how should I sign it? And they said, sign it the golden ones. I says, okay. So that was the first time I heard the term, the golden ones. All right. Then the getting me up at 2:30 in the morning and writing their channeling message through me continued. It continued for quite a few months. And I wrote a book on it called How to Play the Game of Life. All the channeling from the game of life, from the teachings of the golden ones are in the first book. So there was a first book, and then which we called the beginning version. And then there was the second book that we called the intermediate version. And then eventually there was a third book called the advanced version. Now, all three of these books are on the website, and they're free to download. And if you care to give donations, you can, but it's not mandatory. All the products on the website are free because we know some people can't afford things. So they're free, and if you want to donate, you can donate. Not necessary. So all the products on the website are based on the teachings of the Golden Ones, except for the astrology numerology reports. But the astrology numerology reports are good to find out about yourself. If you've never had an astrology report done on yourself, it's something you might be interested in. I've written these books, and what I had to do in writing these books, I couldn't write anything that I did not experience. So when they woke me up in the morning and I would write something, during that day I would have to experience it. They would set up a life experience where I would experience what they wrote. And then I would get confirmation on the workings, the truth of their teachings. Basically, that's who the Golden Ones are. They're the administrators of the Earth Spiritual Training School. They're here to make sure that we develop the God consciousness to be like a co-creator God. That's our mission here. Our mission is to become co-creator gods. You cannot be born to Earth unless you have earned the right to come here and become a co-creator God, trained to become a co-creator God. And you cannot leave here until you achieve that goal. And that's why the program that was written to attune to the God frequency, the 28-day program, is called the Master Ascension Program. You won't be able to leave this planet until you attune to the masters, to the God consciousness within you. Because beyond the fifth dimension here and all other higher realms, you communicate with your thoughts in your mind. My credentials are, have always been a spiritual person. Growing up, I was raised Catholic. I was an altar boy. I went to church as often as I could. Whenever I went to church and I would pray for something, I always got what I wanted. I didn't ask for anything personal, maybe good grades in school, or I don't know, maybe be liked by a friend or something like that. But it was nothing selfish. Now, I always got what I wanted. So I studied and became a metaphysical minister. I became a Reiki master. I became a certified Kundalini yoga instructor. Those are the certificates given by man. The other experience I've had is being visited in dream state by Lords of Amente, who taught me about thoughts. 3 12-foot beings with no faces and in monk clothing, and we traveled, and they basically taught me about communicating with one another through thought. And based on that, a few years later, I developed a meditation class and taught many people on that concept of thoughts and attuning to your spiritual guides. At the time, I didn't know who the Golden Ones were. I had a raising a Kundalini yoga experience in meditation where over about a month or 2-month time frame, I raised the Kundalini, opening up each chakra at the time, and eventually raising the Kundalini to the crown chakra, and had an out-of-body experience. I've been visited by the Angel of Death, other Lords of Amente that talked to me about certain concepts. For example, like chemotherapy is not good for the body. You don't kill the cells, you need to transition the cells. I've had a astral travel experience. When I was in Peru in 2006, I went to Peru and drank the ayahuasca and the huachumi with the shamans in Peru from 2001 to 2006. During one of the drinking experiences, I had an out-of-body, not an out-of-body, but an astral travel experience where I woke up at going to the bathroom, coming down, laying down, and immediately getting up out of my body and traveling to a place called Where the Sun Shines Before the Dawn. Talked to 3 ladies there. We exchanged, well, I didn't do any talking. They told me about my life. they told me other things that what was going on in my life. They told me about a diet of eating fish and bananas, which I didn't know was the ayahuasca diet. And until I had breakfast the next day with my shaman teacher, did I tell him that they told me to eat bananas and fish. And he says, it's the ayahuasca diet. So that was sort of like a confirmation to him that what I experienced was true. Let's see what else. I was visited by the Arcturians in 2012 in Sydney at a spiritual conference. Thoth, the Egyptian god, came through, and he talked about cleaning the light body. On my website, I have a technique. It's a prayer to remove emotional parasites. Emotional parasites are unhealthy feelings and thoughts. And I experienced what it was in a vision under the ayahuasca. They showed me a light body, a filament light body, with globs of glue on it, here and here and here and here and here. And all I knew at the time, and this was probably back in 2004, is this was a light body and it had globs on it. Well, not until Thoth came through in 2012 and explained how to remove these globs that I then, well, he didn't say this is how you remove the globs. He said this is how you remove unhealthy thoughts from your light body. And then I realized that the unhealthy thoughts were these globs, which prevents the filaments in your light body from vibrating to its highest frequency. But at the time, when I was working with this prayer, I forget what Thoth called it, some prayer, whatever he called it, I was working with it at home during my meditation, and the Arcturians, who are seventh dimension beings, came in and told me that these unhealthy feelings and thoughts were parasites. They weren't only parasites where they held the vibration down within a soul, but they actually influenced the thinking of the soul. So in other words, if you're going to say this prayer to remove, let's say you have a fear of drowning, and you're going about to do this prayer to remove emotional parasites, you might get the feeling like, well, you don't need to remove this fear. It's okay. You may not go swimming. It's not going to bother you. These are thoughts from the parasite interfering with you so that you do not remove the parasite from your light body. The parasite believes that if you remove it, the energy of the parasite will die. Well, that's not true. What happens is when you remove the parasite, it goes to the next level of development for that energy, wherever that may be. I didn't get into that, and so forth. Drank the ayahuasca, taught how to clear the light body. Let's see what else is on mine. Taught me how to, they explained to me the conscious mind, the subconscious mind, how the conscious mind and subconscious mind coordinates with the universal mind on manifestations. So we'll talk about that on a later video. They taught how the universal mind interacts with each soul in this spiritual training school for two reasons. What it does, it creates a training agenda for each soul. So each soul in this spiritual training school has a training agenda. You have to learn many things. You have to learn about universal laws, how to use the conscious, subconscious mind, how the minds integrate with universal mind. You have to learn how to clean your light body. You have to learn about emotions, disciplining your emotions and where they come from. You're created in the image and likeness of God. So your emotions are stored in your solar plexus, which is your third chakra, which is your light body. On the website, there's a meditation it's called a meditation cure for an emotional anxiety. And if you have difficulties disciplining your emotions, you can look at that meditation. And on my website, I have where I'm available to speak to anyone at no charge on what's going on in your life. If you have a situation and you just need some spiritual guidance in resolving it. My teachers, the golden ones, recommend that I facilitate these, I'll call them training classes. But actually what they are is the training classes on what the agenda is for this spiritual training school, what the challenges are, purpose of the challenges. There's two purposes, one to clear your karma debts, and the other challenge is to develop wisdom. You have angels to help you. You have to learn how to use the angels, and you have Archangel Lucifer. And Archangel Lucifer's role here is, of course, for temptation. Archangel Lucifer is the devil, but he works for God. And his mission is to make sure that when you ascend from Earth's training school, that there is no weakness in your light body, that you have completely transcended from all sensual desires into God consciousness. And that's Archangel Lucifer's role here. So yeah, you're going to be tempted, and you have to become aware of that. What else is going on? I have a prayer given to me called the Prayer of Protection. This was given to me by my first metaphysical teacher. And when I was learning to meditate, I was concerned that if I was in a meditation that, I don't know, there was some fear, projected fear that an entity could come in and take over your body or mind while you're in meditation. This prayer protection was given to me. I didn't believe in soul attachments. I don't mean soul attachments, entity attachments. I didn't believe in that. I told my teachers that, I don't believe that a trapped soul can attach to me. Well, a few months later, I'm out on my walk. I used to take walks like 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning. I was out in the country. I would take my walk, come home, meditate, get ready for work, leave work by 6 o'clock, get to work by 7. That was the start of my day, is getting up and taking a 3-mile walk. So this one morning I'm walking, pitch black, no street lights. I got used to walking in the dark. Like I said, I got used to it. And I'm walking in the dark, and I had this feeling that someone was behind me. It was the strangest feeling. Now I know I didn't hear anybody behind me coming up on me. I just had this overwhelming feeling that someone was behind me. So I stopped and I turned around. Of course, nobody was there. So I went, okay. I went on my business, finished my walk. This was a Sunday morning. And so the next day, it was Monday night, and my boys, at the time I had 4 boys. My youngest one told my wife that when he goes into the bathroom, he feels as if someone is standing behind him, and when he looks into the mirror, he thinks he's going to see somebody. I went, oh my God, okay. I says, I know what happened. But at the time in my home, I had a green room, which was my healing room and my meditation room. So I says, get my son, let's go upstairs to the green room and let me talk to him. And so he explained to me, and my teacher said, do the prayer of protection. So it was my wife, my son, and I, and my son was right across from me. And I says, Dustin was his name. He's my youngest one. I says, Dustin, I'm going to say this prayer. Let me know what happens when I say the prayer. So I said the prayer, which only takes maybe about 15 seconds, if that long. And when I got through with the prayer, he says, it's gone. I says, what do you mean it's gone? He says, well, as soon as you started the prayer, he says, I could feel like I was getting foggy, and I could feel like this thing moving, and it just disappeared. It's gone. I says, really? I says, you okay? He says, yeah. He says, I'm great now. I says, okay. And so that was my experience in using the prayer of protection. And I've used it ever since, before a meeting or before a group or especially before my meditations, and especially before my meditations. Like I said, I had an encounter with the angel of death. I started my meditation off with prayer protection, and I'm there in my meditation, and all of a sudden, this entity comes up in my face, skeleton bones with rags on it, and it startled me at first. I quickly said, "Well, wait a minute. I said the prayer of protection, so this has to be divine." I says, "Who are you?" And it says, "I am the angel of death." And then it went on, and we had a conversation. I'll tell you the conversation on another day. But if I didn't say the prayer of protection, I might have terminated the meditation or not finished the learning experience I had from it. And during my meditations, many, many, many things have happened to me. All good, all divine, sensations in the body, especially when raising the Kundalini energy from the root chakra. Many, many, many experiences within the body that if I didn't know it was divine guidance and orchestrated by the divine, I might have terminated the meditation. So if you're meditating and you say the prayer of protection, please say the prayer of protection, because I guarantee that you're protected and you will not regret experiencing whatever the divine has for you in your soul development. So that was the prayer protection. We're going to hopefully, I'll attempt to do one of these classes once a week on a subject, particular subject. Maybe the next one might be on your light body. I think the things that are important to a soul in this master ascension, in this training, spiritual training school, is clearing your light body. That is the most important thing to do. And I would highly recommend downloading the Ascension Master Program and starting the program. You have to start it on a full moon. That's the recommendations from the teachers. And it lasts 28 days. On a new moon. If I said on a full moon, you have to start it on a new moon. So download the program, and it will assist you in disciplining your thinking, clearing your light body, and attuning to the heart and mind of God. I want to say that I hope you visit me at The Path, www.thepathtowoneness.com, for all the free teachings of the Golden Ones. And there's things for the body too. My consciousness is health of the body and a perfect God-conscious spirit. So there's many products on the website to assist the soul in their path to ascension. So see all the teachings and videos of the Golden Ones at www.thepathtowoneness.com. Also, see the teachings on the Golden Age, where souls can learn how to overcome the birth, death, and rebirth cycle. Also, see all the videos of the Golden Ones on the YouTube channel, Timothy Doyle, The Golden Ones. And visit us on Facebook and link it at The Path to Oneness.